I've wanted to create a video on the paranormal for some time, but never found a story which I felt that had scientific credit to it. I don't believe that ghosts are actual apparitions that know they're dead and go around haunting mansions or forests. What I do believe is that those ghosts are actually recordings of the past that under certain circumstances, which science is yet to explain, are replayed for those that happen to be there at the time. It wasn't until the last few weeks that I came across something known as the stone tape theory. The theory speculates that ghosts and hauntings are analogous to tape recordings, and that electrical mental impressions released during emotional or traumatic events can somehow be stored in moist rocks and other inanimate objects and replayed under certain conditions. It originated from the BBC television play of the same name, directed by Peter Sasdy. It was broadcast on BBC Two as a Christmas ghost story in 1972. Combining aspects of science fiction and horror, the story concerns a team of scientists who move into their new research facility, a renovated Victorian mansion that has a reputation for being haunted. The team investigate the phenomena, trying to determine if the stones of the building are acting as a recording medium for past events. However, their investigations serve only to unleash a darker, more malevolent force. The stone tape was written by Nigel Kneale, best known as the writer of Quatermass. Its juxtaposition of science and superstition is a frequent theme in Kneale's work. In particular, his 1952 radio play You Must Listen, about a haunted telephone line, is a notable antecedent of the stone tape. The play was also inspired by a visit Kneale had paid to the BBC's Research and Development Department, which is located in an old Victorian house in Kingswood, Surrey. Critically acclaimed at the time of broadcast, it remains well regarded to this day as one of Nigel Kneale's best and most terrifying plays. This theory may also explain my own personal experience with the paranormal, and I am so glad I have finally come across something which might actually hold some credence. I heard what I can only describe as a woman screaming for her life when I was a teenager. I was sitting in my room with a few of my friends, listening to music and doing things that only teenagers get up to. My house backs onto the M1 motorway in Hertfordshire, England, and on the other side of the motorway is what is known as the Mundon Woods. There is an urban legend connected to these woods. A ghost known as the White Lady is supposed to haunt the Mundons. As you can imagine, it would have taken a rather loud noise to overcome the sound of rushing traffic and music in my own bedroom. I listened intently for a few seconds and realised I could hear this woman screaming and the sound of a dog howling like a wolf. I turned the music down and asked my friends if they could hear what I was hearing. They all said yes. At that moment I heard several shots being fired from what I believed to be a shotgun. At this point I thought to myself, we could be hearing the murder of a woman. For the next few months I waited for any news in our local area, as I really thought someone had been murdered. Nothing came of that night, and now I have learned of the stone tape theory, I believe that myself and my friends experienced a recording from the past on that night. It may also explain why ghosts are often seen doing the same thing over and over again, like they are stuck in a loop. Or when they are recorded in pictures, sometimes in strange positions like falling through ceilings or floating down stairs. What we are actually seeing is a recording of a place in time, and over decades or centuries, buildings and places change, which means we see those ghosts in different places. Images of ghosts can be faked, of course, and many of them have been proven so, but there are just as many of them that cannot be explained, even after being examined by photographic experts and going through much scrutiny. One such photo is of the famous Newby Church monk taken by Reverend K.F. Lord in Yorkshire in 1963. At first glance it would be easy to think that this is the biggest faked photograph known to man, but after extensive research I cannot find anything that conclusively states it was a hoax. The photo was featured on Arthur C. Clarke's television programme titled The World of Strange Powers in 1985. A team of experts analysed a number of paranormal pictures, including the Nubi monk, using what was cutting-edge technology at the time to scrutinise the photo. They found nothing to suggest it was tampered with in any way. There wasn't even any double exposure. I have included a link to the episode in question in the video description, so you can decide if this photo is real or fake for yourself. The stone tape theory doesn't explain every paranormal experience people encounter. Poltergeists are one such example. Malevolent entities that haunt people and cause untold emotional stress for those involved. The film Poltergeist is loosely based on the haunting of a family named the Hermans who lived in Long Island, New York during the 1950s. Bottle caps would suddenly pop off bottles, ornaments would fly around the house, and a figure of the Virgin Mary smashed a mirror 12 feet away. A police officer who investigated the incidents was nearly hit by a globe, and a British press photographer who was there to cover the story witnessed his flashbulbs lift off a table. As quickly as the events began, they stopped when the family eventually moved house. The family believed the events were inextricably linked to a Native American burial site that was close to their home, something that featured heavily in Spielberg's movie. The movie is also considered the most cursed film of all time after several members of the cast died. Within weeks of the film's release, Dominique Dunne, who played possessed Carol Ann's big sister Dana, was strangled by her boyfriend outside her West Hollywood home. She died days later in hospital. Actor Julian Beck, 60, who played preacher Henry Kane in the second movie, died of stomach cancer as the film was released. And Will Sampson, who took the role of a Native American shaman, died after undergoing a heart and lung transplant. Another small part actor, Lou Perryman, was killed in 2009 when an ex-convict attacked him with an axe at his home in Austin, Texas. But it was the death of young Heather O'Rourke, who played Carol Ann Freeling, which sealed the film's spooky reputation. She was misdiagnosed with Crohn's disease in 1987 and died the following year of a heart attack as doctors operated on a bowel obstruction. She was just 12. So, do you believe that it's possible for mental impressions of emotional and traumatic events to be recorded onto rocks and other everyday objects, only to be replayed years later? Could this theory prove that what we experience as paranormal activity is merely a recording of the past? As a man of scientific reasoning, this theory sounds plausible, and perhaps one day it can be proven either that ghosts are recordings of the past or just figments of our imagination. Let me know what you think of the stone tape in the comments section of the video. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this subject. Tune in next Sunday for another Strangeries story. Thanks for watching.